Wasim Ahmad, and I'm the health and safety consultant, lead trainer. Can we mute, please?
على Zoom. Yes, please continue.
Yeah. My name is Wasim Ahmad, and I'm the health and safety consultant, lead trainer. Currently, I'm involved in two roles. I'm working with ADNOC, also Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, as HSE engineer. And for the past 20 years, I am in Saudi Arabia as HSE consultant, lead trainer. As Anas introduced myself, conducted several number of trainings, almost 3,000 candidates were trained, more than 30,000 of man hours of training delivered till date. And I do possess grad IOSH status. I am a approved trainer for NEBOSH, IOSH, MEDIC, OSHA, PECB, and all of those logos which you can see on the slide here. And apart from that, I do have consultancy experience. Also, I provided consultancy to many companies in Saudi Arabia, especially Saudi Aramco, some of the SABIC affiliates. We designed their HSE management systems and all that. Without wasting much time here on the introduction, I would straightforwardly go to the topic we have today, which is mainly introducing NEBOSH. I don't want to waste much time here. We'll quickly go through the qualification itself, what NEBOSH is, what are the qualifications offered by NEBOSH, and what are the criteria, what are the prereqs, what are the requirements to attend NEBOSH trainings and complete them successfully. By the way, we have completed, our last session was 50th successful session in Saudi Arabia, conducted by me. So personally, I've conducted 50 successful sessions in Saudi Arabia for NEBOSH IGC. So we'll be moving on. Next slide. Yeah. So I just want to create introductory session here. I just want to let you know the HSE career in the Middle East. If you look back almost two decades earlier, HSE was not that much important here in this region. And for the past 20 years, HSE regulations, they are getting more strengthened. As you can see, civil defense and modern and the environmental regulations, all of those bodies are getting more stronger and stronger day by day, and requirements for HSE rules and regulation is going higher and higher day by day. So one thing is clear here.
There is no sound is coming. Excuse me. There is no sound is coming.
There's no sound.
Your sound is mute, I think.
There
Please
is no
unmute your
sound.
Please make the sound.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
it's
yes,
clear.
we can.
Yeah.
I don't know since when you are unable to hear me, but anyhow, we'll
But
just
we have to
start
hear.
with this.
That's our first motto.
Okay. Anyhow, we'll start with this slide.
All right.
The introduction is not that important, but we'll directly go to the importance of HSE in the Middle Eastern region here. Guys, as we all can see that if you look back 2 decades earlier, safety was not that important in this region. Not even safety, health, or environmental regulations were not that important. But today, if you see many regulations, civil defense, modern, PME, which is environmental body in Saudi Arabia, and so many other health related regulations you can see especially in Saudi Arabian market. And basically the system works in a way that if you have a regulation by government, you have to go with it always. It's not flexible that you go or not with the regulation, but if implementation comes from government bodies and if there's a complete system of fines and enforcements and all of those things, then each one of us has to go with that system. Previously, it was, the multinational companies coming from outside, they were bringing in some regulations, and the HSE regulations were further taken over by the contractor, subcontractor of that client who is bringing. For example, Aramco was having almost 5,000 or more contractors and a lot of subcontractors. So anybody who used to work with Aramco has to follow their regulations. This was done by the company itself. But in the coming times, you will see more enforcement because the government will be involved and the government will bring in a regulation, and everyone has to follow the regulation. So if the regulation is not being followed by the companies or people, then there will be enforcement behind it. So it's a good part. So we understand that HSE has got more importance now, and you will see day by day improvement in this. So if you look at the next point here, push to pull HSE resources. Previously, it was simply the wish and will of the company to follow or not HSE rules and regulations and standards. So now it will be pushed by government. It will be pushed by enforcement bodies for everyone to follow, to have a management system in place, to follow rules and regulations and all those things. So it's a good sign. As we discussed, the HSE rules and regulations are imparting very fastly, and things are going to improvement a lot. So the career opportunities for HSE are also increasing. Many people, they ask me a question about current situation, especially after pandemic, what will be the situation in the job market. For sure, for HSE, there will be huge requirement. Looking at the COVID 19 and all of those things, now companies will be putting more requirements towards health hygiene issues and all those things. So the career is very bright for health and safety in the Middle East for the coming times. And as we discussed, rules and regulations and everything will be taken over by governments. So for sure, there will be huge requirement for HSE professionals. So now the question comes, what is so important for HSE professionals? What is the formal and informal HSE qualification? So the guys, formal qualification means accredited qualification in health and safety, or qualifications which we get from universities around us. Informal means just piece of information, Google or website information or all of those things. So if you look back, can we go back to the previous slide? Yet I am there. Yeah. So if we look back in 2012, Saudi Aramco made a decision that anybody who is in health and safety role with Aramco or their contractor or subcontractor, they need to have NEBOSH IGC as a prereq for safety job. So it means the formal qualification was mandatory from that time. And when the Aramco takes some decisions in Saudi Arabia, most of the companies follow those decisions. So later on we see NEBOSH IGC become a basic requirement, a preliminary requirement for a job to apply in health and safety. But many of our fellows were carrying some of the unaccredited information courses, and on the basis of those courses, they were doing some jobs. Later on, they were told, guys, that's it. You need to come up with the formal certification and qualification to continue your job. Otherwise, you will be replaced with the people who already carry these qualifications. So the role of formal, informal HSE qualification is very clear now. You need to go for formal qualifications in health and safety. Also, it is very important now to go for academic growth for continuous learners in health and safety. NEBOSH IGC or NEBOSH HSW or diplomas are not the only qualifications. You need to move on. As we all know that continual improvement must be there. So we need to go with the academic growth also if you want to have a good career in health and safety. There is international recognition for these qualifications also, as we discussed, that NEBOSH is not only known by the people here in this region, it is world-known qualification. Looking at the vaster territories for UK and Europe and all of those areas, it is widely acceptable qualification. So the qualification has got an international recognition as well. We go to the next slide. Yeah. Now, if you look here in this slide, these are typically NEBOSH qualifications. On the left side, you will see our logo and our center number here. I would suggest you, before moving on, for sure, you will be convinced to go with these accredited qualifications. But whenever you are going to take these qualifications, always go with the approved training provider by NEBOSH directly. There are many companies we know that they are doing some business in market. They themselves are not approved by NEBOSH, but they make an agreement with a company who is already approved with NEBOSH, and then they are doing some business that is illegal way of doing business. Guys, you can see this number in NEBOSH website also, and this 1349 is a formal number for the center who is approved with NEBOSH. Same number you can go and check on the website of NEBOSH, you will see. So if we look at the qualifications here, it starts with the award. Award is the lowest level of qualification with health and safety from NEBOSH, and there are 4 different type of award qualifications. The most common in Saudi Arabia and Middle Eastern region is the NEBOSH Health and Safety at Work qualification, which is a very short qualification. We will discuss this one by one in the coming slide. There is award in environmental awareness also. There is award in process safety and other areas also. So award means it's a level 2 qualification as per the UK education network, qualification network. Level 2 qualification is award level. When we go to the certificate level, which we were discussing in Saudi Arabia and Middle East everywhere, certificate level qualification is mandatory now for safety professional to have by many organizations here in Saudi Arabia, even in the government sector. And one of the most famous qualification is NEBOSH International Certificate. NEBOSH International Certificate, NEBOSH International Certificate in Occupational Health and Safety. If you can see, I can show with the pointer here in the certificate, the second qualification. There is NEBOSH National General Certificate also. This is not for people who are out of UK. This is discussing mainly UK regulations. But if you go to the second one, that is for international candidates, and that is the one which is the most famous one in this region. And there are a lot of other certificates in environment, in process safety, and fire. So this is level 3 qualification. In United Kingdom's qualification network, they grade it as level 3. And if you go down, you will see a diploma level, which is a more advanced qualification. Diploma is equivalent to graduation in UK. It is level 6 qualification, and any level 6 qualification is equivalent to is graduation basically. So we will discuss the career path in the coming slide, but these are some of the qualifications offered by NEBOSH, and there are a lot more also, but these are the most common here in this page. Now, if you look at the first level which we discussed, which is HSW, Health and Safety at Work qualification, it's level 2 as we discussed, as per UK's National Qualification Network. And mainly you will be looking at the principles of health and safety and looking at the common workplace hazards and controls in this qualification. It also includes a practical risk assessment project, very short one, 1-page document. And the qualification covers mainly two elements. Unit 1 is workplace safety foundations, and unit 2 is risk assessment activity. But it's very easygoing qualification. And rather going for unaccredited qualification, I would request you to go with these accredited qualifications. Qualification is awarded by UK for NEBOSH UK for sure, and exam and one risk assessment project is the requirement to pass the qualification successfully. Now, looking at the major thing which we were discussing, which is a prereq here for jobs and everything. Guys, NEBOSH IGC is more advanced level, which is level 3 qualification as per UK qualification network. And it gives you a detailed insight of management of health and safety within the organization through different tools, risk assessments, accident investigations, audits, management system awareness and reviews, hazards and controls. So this is this qualification, as we discussed earlier also, is mainly required for the companies here in Saudi Arabia to hire people in health and safety roles. If you look at the memberships, NEBOSH and IOSH work together. IOSH is IOSH is a regulatory body in UK also, and they also acknowledge NEBOSH qualification. So anybody who is holder of NEBOSH level 3 qualification, which is certificate level, he can further apply for IOSH membership. And IOSH member, they will be graded as technician member in the beginning on level 3, and then associate member for International Institute of Risk and Safety Management. These two memberships are awarded to NEBOSH IGC holders. For sure, IGC qualification is also awarded by NEBOSH UK after successful completion of one written exam and one risk assessment project. A good news here for the new people who are new to the safety is that now things are more easier if you compare it to earlier. Earlier, you need to go for 2 written exams for NEBOSH, NEBOSH IGC 1, GC2, and 1 written report. Now it is only 1 written exam and 1 report. And report is also shortened now, so it's quite easier now to get this qualification. So this is IGC qualification. If you look at the topics mainly covered in the new syllabus for NEBOSH, NEBOSH IGC, NEBOSH IG1, which is Management of International Health and Safety, module or element you can say. There are 4 modules covered here. Why to manage health and safety, how health and safety system work, managing risks, health and safety monitoring and measurement, which is mainly auditing and all of those tools to check the performance of your health and safety management system. So the first module is mainly health and safety management related, not hazard and control. If you go to GC2, it is control of workplace hazard. This element is only for your information, which you are going to use in your reports in GC3. So you will not be evaluated on this element by a written exam, but this is for your information. You will be going through details of this element to acquire some knowledge on different kind of hazards and their controls and different things. And then there is a third exam or third evaluation done by NEBOSH, which is your practical report. This practical report is a practical risk assessment report using knowledge acquired through IG1 and GC2 during the training session. So this is how this this NEBOSH IGC will move further. Yeah. Now I want to connect these qualifications with the membership grades. This is very important. You should know if you are working in these markets, especially in the Middle Eastern territories, most of the organizations, they are asking you about the membership levels also. So for example, if you go with NEBOSH Health and Safety at Work qualification, you will not be awarded any membership by anybody because this is very basic level. This is a information level only. But if you go to IGC, as we discussed earlier in the slide, you will be awarded technician member for IOSH, tech IOSH membership, which is a professional, not a professional level, but in the beginner level. If you go with diploma level or higher qualification, you will be granted the grad IOSH title. And after getting grad IOSH, you can train further people on NEBOSH. This is also training requirement, trainers requirement also. You can train people up once you are a grad IOSH member. Till grad IOSH, the requirement is qualification based. I mean, if you are graduate in health and safety, if you got a degree in health and safety, and it is accepted by IOSH, you will be rewarded. You will be granted grad IOSH status. No need, not much requirement for experience or any other tools, but it is qualification based. Further, if you move further down the arrow, there is CF IOSH, which is the last, CM IOSH, sorry. Above the CM IOSH, after grad IOSH, you will get CM IOSH on the basis of two things. Chartered membership is awarded on two things: the qualification and your expertise or experience, and CPD. CPD is continuous professional development, which is one of the requirement of IOSH. Once you are grad IOSH, from grad IOSH, further on, you need to continue CPD. You need to do CPD, in which you need to mention your projects and achievements and things that you are connected to health and safety field, and you are doing something in health and safety to prove that you are expert or you are a professional in health and safety. And once you are CPD is audited after some time, they will conduct your interview and grant you the CM IOSH title. Chartered membership is very good status in health and safety for professionals mainly, and you become advisory level once you are a chartered member. And then the last level of membership is CF IOSH, Chartered Fellow IOSH. So chartered fellows, it is quite difficult to achieve this level, but you need to have a certain higher qualification, CPD management, plus some charitable work you did in the in the industry without money, supporting the communities, industries as a charitable work. It shows that yes, you give your best to health and safety field. So also followed by interviews and all of those things, chartered fellow membership is awarded. It's chartered membership. Up to chartered membership, it is only in few hundreds around the world. So we have very limited number of chartered memberships, as well as chartered fellows is very few people also. So it's a career path basically. It's not only IGC or HSW, they are the beginning level, but you can move on and you can achieve the chartered fellowship also. And these membership levels are basically recognized in the market. If you tell someone I am a chartered member IOSH, they know how you are chartered member. They know what qualification you carry. They know what kind of experience you will have and what is your status in health and safety. So these memberships are very important. Move on. This was our last batch, did in Jeddah, 50th batch done in a row, successful batch. And the next batch will be 51st batch, I would say. Now, this is the plan for the next session. We have this NEBOSH IGC starting on 5th of June, 2020, and evening classes will be conducted. The time is not yet decided, but it will be evening, and it will be virtual live. It does not mean, virtual live does not mean an online training. Online training means it's only one way, where you are given a resource. Can we move to the next slide? Yeah, the online training is a training on which you have a resource available and you have to prepare yourself. Virtual live means it is still a trainer-led course where the trainer will be delivering lecture online. It is interactive. You can, participants can interact with each other, with the trainer. You can ask questions and all of those things. So this should not be mixed with the online training. Online is only one way. There is no feedback system in that. Yes. So guys, this is what I had to tell you. As we discussed earlier, there are a lot of other qualifications offered by NEBOSH, but since these are the most popular qualifications in this region, we stick to this. I would love to answer your questions if you have any questions.
لا طبعا انت عايز تاكل ميه ايضا مش عايز السكر يزيد.
Okay, guys, if you have any questions, you can ask. One of the question has come in the chat that since UK is locked down, when we expect the center to conduct the exam. Actually, we are also waiting for the same thing. But now, since the situation at the country in Saudi Arabia is getting better, alhamdulillah, so we need to contact British Council, and we are waiting for the British Council signal. Because whenever we asked NEBOSH that when can we start, NEBOSH told us that you have to follow your local legislations. So British Council is also following the local legislations, and as soon as we are going to have finishing of lockdown, inshallah, we will apply for the exam. I hope by mid of June or the July we will be able to have the exam, because we already have 2-3 batches which are waiting for the exam. We conducted already. So the batch which is going to start from 5th June, the exam will also be in, I hope, by the end of June or in the July. Whenever it will be held, we are going to discuss with you before 2-3 weeks, so you will be well prepared before the course. Yes, Mr. Wasim, second question is, after achieving the qualification, what is the way to get the membership level? For instance, I have completed NEBOSH IGC. How do I apply for Tech IOSH? Mr. Wasim, if you can please answer.
Yeah, sure. Once you successfully pass the exam and you get some evidence, you get some certificate or your results, then you can go to the IOSH website, and there is a tab for membership. You can just tap on that tab. There are different levels. So you can apply for associate membership, not tech membership. They will not give you immediately technician membership. First, you need to become associate member by paying some fees and filling the forms and sending your documents. Once you prove that you got NEBOSH IGC qualification by sending your certificates, they will issue you technician membership certificate, as well as they will give you IOSH number also, which will continue for your long-term membership things and all that. But you need to apply through their website from IOSH, and you will get your certificates and stuff by courier by then.
Yeah, you can see there is one more question about the fees. So you can see that the fees for this session, which is going to be held as a virtual live, according to Saudi Arabian currency, it will be 2,950 plus VAT, which will be, so the total will be around 3,100. What are the basic qualification needed for NEBOSH, Mr. Wasim?
For NEBOSH HSW, there is no requirement. Basically, anyone can go for it. For NEBOSH IGC, again, there is no qualification required to qualify for this qualification, but your English level, reading, writing, and listening skills should be good. And you have to prove that, yes, your English level is good to attempt the exams and all of those things for understanding. For NEBOSH diploma level, for sure, you need to first show them level 3 qualifications and all those things. But still, there is no mandatory requirement for NEBOSH qualifications.
For as far as educational requirement is concerned, there is no such requirement, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so the next question is IOSH level 3 qualification, which is also introduced by IOSH. Is this the same like NEBOSH IGC? Yes, Mr. Wasim.
Yeah, if you look at the credibility, for sure, NEBOSH IGC has got more credibility because this is widely accepted by employers in the market. IOSH, if you look at the qualification itself, both are level 3 qualification, both are same thing. The value of the qualification is same, but credibility is different. If you hold an IOSH level 3 qualification, for sure, you are on the same level, but you will not be much accepted by employer because this is not yet very much in here in this market.
Okay, thank you. Next question is, to sustain a career in oil and gas industry, IGC is enough or need to complete NEBOSH oil and gas as well?
No, NEBOSH IGC is mainly required. As I told you, I'm working with ADNOC, Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, and ADNOC is one of the major companies in the region. We don't have any requirement for oil and gas. NEBOSH oil and gas was not that much successful. They only discussed, a little bit about process industry. But if you, and this is 1 week course also. But if you go to NEBOSH IGC, that is more comprehensive, widely accepted course in all industries. Only job requirement are you must be holding NEBOSH IGC plus certain experience in the same industry in which you are going to apply.
Very good. There is another question. Those guys who have done electrical engineering, so can they take this qualification?
Yeah, for your information, this qualification is the best combination with engineering degree. You know, most of the people are thinking, if I got engineering degree, why should I go for health and safety? If you have a combination of engineering degree with NEBOSH, then you will be moving to the process industry, which is one of the best industry for health and safety professionals. So it's a good combination with any other qualification.
Now we will take the questions from those guys who have raised their hands. Yes, Mr. Muhammad Numer, you can ask the question. Muhammad Numer.
Sir, Assalamu alaikum. Sir, my question is that how much time it take to prepare the NEBOSH qualification like IGC?
Walaikum assalam. Yes, brother, actually it depends on your own, basically. If the trainer is going to spend with you 10 days, he will be completing each and every single slide for the course, each and every topic in the slide. But preparation lies with the candidate itself. What is your pace? If you are a busy person, if you are already working, for sure it is going to take more time. But if you are focused one, I can assure you that within these 10 days, if you go with the trainer daily basis, whatever he is going to teach you, train you on, and if you cover those things and if you make your own notes, these 10 to 15 to 20 days are more than enough to prepare for exam.
And most of the time, we also keep the margin of 3 weeks between the classes and the exam.
Yeah, by default, you are going to get 3 to 4 weeks because the moment you register with us, you will be registered with NEBOSH. And after registration, you will be allowed to go for exam in a month's time. So there is plenty of time available. But again, it is not restricted. You can drag it to, 2 months, 3 months, depending on your pace. But you need to inform us about your exam date, and it also should go with our scheduled exams.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, what is the difference between old syllabus and new syllabus regarding the question, answer, and exams?
Yeah, as we discussed in the slides here also, there is a huge difference. Previously, if you look at the facts and figures by NEBOSH, most of the people were failing in GC2, which is your second element, I would say, second exam, which is hazards and controls. And the reason of failing in that mainly was people, they use their own knowledge and skills, and they're not consulting the syllabus by NEBOSH. But anyhow, apart from those issues, now this is waived off. You have only one exam, which is NEBOSH GC1, and you need to prepare for only those 4 elements to pass the exam, and then report is the secondary requirement also. So the syllabus is almost same for GC1, and the questions will also be from that short syllabus, which is only for one element, one module. Sorry, you will not be asked questions from GC2.
Right. Thank you. The next question, it comes from NEBOSH IDIP and IDIC level 6. Which one you suggest for those who are already working in the field and they have already certain good position in the company with regards to health and safety? Which one is better?
Look, it depends. It depends. If you are a working professional, There are two types of qualifications in the market now. One is evaluation based